old man here, and we've got some unpacking to do. Coming right up. So by now, you've seen the video of me being up in the tree. This crazy old man's doing it. We're going to see where that leads to. In the meantime, we have a ton of stuff we need to open up here, and I'm going to share everything I bought with you with some detail on everything I bought and why I bought it, and what is needed to be up in the trees, to have fun, but the most important thing is to be safe up there. So, let's just get started, eh? Alright, so one of the first things I bought was a book on knots. Now, YouTube University, aka YouTube, has plenty of videos of people tying knots, especially arborists tying knots on how to get up in trees and how to secure lines and everything. It's okay to refer to those, but it's always good to have a book also, right? And this one is called Knots at Work, a field guide for the modern arborist, Jeff Jepson. Very good illustrations, explains what they're used for, explains how to tie them step by step. And I've actually been practicing with a couple of knots, and I know how to tie 2 knots right now. I think it's called a bowline and a double fisherman knot. So those are the 2 knots that are going to be primary for what I'm using, but there's probably 3 or 4 more that minimum that I have to learn in order to get up in the tree safely and secure everything. So stay tuned for those too. Next thing I bought here is the Tree Climber's Companion. And this is a must-have for anybody climbing up in trees. It's a short read. Haven't gone through this yet, but this is basically one of the Bibles of how to get up in a tree and everything to expect and so forth. So we'll get to that one too when the time's right. A couple of years ago, last year, I bought this helmet, and it's an arborist helmet. It's got the guide on it to protect you, the visor. This is a screen visor. It also has a glass visor or a plastic visor to help protect. That one gets a little scratched up and foggy, so I like using the screen one here. It's pretty good, pretty decent helmet. It's got the ear muffs on it to protect your hearing from the chainsaw, and it's got a good inner head holder, or whatever you want to call it, to adjust your head. And this will just go on like this, and kind of looks pretty snazzy. You might see me in this one every once in a while, or you may have already seen me in this one already. But yeah. All right, where do I start, man? Where do I start? Let's start with the bucket first, because I can't do anything without the 3 items that are in each one of these boxes. And at least that's what I think they are. So anywho, let's go ahead and get started. Check this out. Silky pruning saw. This is pretty sharp. I haven't tested it out yet, but this will hook onto my side samurai. If I'm not going to use the chainsaw up in the trees, because I don't want to waste gas or whatever, if it's just a small branch, I can just pull this out and saw it off. This would come in handy in between me being able to snap a branch and wasting the time to bring my chainsaw up. I'll just pull this out, saw it real quick, a couple seconds, and it's off the branch, right? Silky is a well-known brand. This particular saw is made and imported from Japan, and it's got a very good reputation to it. There's a ton of other brands out there, of course, depending on what you're looking for, but I went with this one. Had a really good rating on it. Pretty slick sheath. It's got these rollers on the end that will grip the side of it. The metal seems really sturdy, and it's flexible enough so when you do cut, you don't have to worry about it being so stiff. So we're going to try that out. That's nice. All right. What else we got here? This is a throw line, 175 feet, I believe. So there's a weight that goes with this. I'll show you that in a second. But essentially what you do here, you hook your weight to the end of this. It's like almost like a hacky sack. And you slowly pendulum swing the weight at the bottom, and you throw it up in the tree, and it goes over your branch, and then the line lands on the other side, hopefully. And then what you do with this is you pull your rope up over the branch so you can secure it to the tree so you can climb up it. That's the purpose of this. 175 feet. What you typically got to do with this, because it's brand new, is you have to stretch it out. So sometime in the next couple of weeks I'll be tying this around a tree and really pulling on it hard to stretch it out. What that will do is prevent it from curling up on you, and it'll stay straight. Pretty cool stuff there. Cool stuff, cool stuff. All right. What else we got here, man? All right. These are some little Velcro straps that I got for the saw. So if I want to, let me show you this. If I want to put it on my leg right here, I can wrap the strap around here and be a true samurai. Hiya! Alright. Next. Oh yeah. This is a throw bag. Throw box, throw bag, whatever. Essentially what you do here is it folds out into a cube. That line I just showed you, this stuff, neatly goes back into the cube along with the throw weights, and then what it does is it folds up into a triangle, and it's good for easy storage. The purpose of that is to keep your line from getting tangled up. You ever have an extension cord out in your garage and you've got multiple tools attached to it, and by the time you're done working with it, it's got knots in it, so you have to take the time to unpeel the knots? Well, this is supposed to prevent that, and I've seen a lot of arborists on YouTube University, aka YouTube, use these things and store their lines in it and so forth. So, picked up one of those. Alright. This is what's called a bridge rope. This will go on my harness. Now my harness already comes with one of these on it, but you can add a second one on. And what you do with this is, it goes around your waist. I'll show you that on the harness. You tie the knot in. This happens to be, I believe this might be a bowline knot. If it's not a bowline knot, then it's another knot that I know how to tie. So I figured that one out. So check this out. Go around twice. This comes underneath. Bam. And now we have a knot that is secured, and it will not come undone. So I learned how to tie that one. And to get this undone, manually, if you want to just take it off your harness, boom, done. The point is that when it's secured on the other side of a piece of metal and you start to tighten on it, it won't come loose. In fact, if you go to monkeybeaver.com, shout out to Monkey Beaver, they have some fantastic stuff, and those folks over there know what they're doing. They did a stress test on this rope. This rope broke at 6,500, 6,600 pounds. So I am confident that this rope will secure my life while I'm up in a tree. No doubt about it. In fact, it broke, I believe, if I look at the video again, it broke at where the connection was for the knot, not the rope itself. So this actually became the weakest point at 6,500 pounds. So pretty confident this is going to save my life if it comes down to it. So nice rope. As I mentioned before, the most important thing is safety up in the tree. It's like scuba diving, right? Trust your equipment and make sure safety is paramount. Same with being up in a tree. Make sure you trust your equipment and make sure safety is paramount. And I'm going to have 2 of these hooked to me at all times, so stay tuned for that. Let's go on here. When I ordered all this stuff, and I got boxes and boxes coming to me over the last month and a half, they sent me all these little, you've seen them before during the pandemic. People were wearing these little scarf things over their neck, these cooler things, and they put them up over their nose, and they were using them as masks. They work pretty good. used them several times during the pandemic for a mask until I got an actual good mask, and they work quite well. So they sent me a bunch of these. It's like every time I got an order from them, they included one of these in there. So I'm sure these will help with the sun. You know, I can wear it on my head like a pirate. Arr, you know. So get water. I'm sure it's going to be pretty hot in the trees at some point. Do something like this, you know. Who knows? Look pretty silly. Anywho, they sent a bunch of these, so pretty cool. All right, moving on. I have no idea what that is. So let's open that up. Utility blade. Like I said, I was saving a lot of this stuff for you guys. All right. Ah, yes. Okay. This is a Rock Exotica transporter. Kind of an odd looking thing. You may or may not have seen something like this, but essentially what this is, you hook this to your harness, and it's got a hinge on it, of course, like a normal carabiner, but it's got a locking ball, press ball lock on it. So you can lock it into place, and now it won't open when I press on it. Press the ball, slide it up, and then it comes undone. So I don't know if that's called a double or triple action safe. So when it's closed is one action. Pressing the ball down and moving into lock or unlock is a second action. And then the actual lock itself is a third action, I believe, something like that. Anywho, I think it's a double action. Anyways, this what this is for is when it's sitting on the side of my belt, I'm going to put my chainsaw onto it so it doesn't slip out as I'm climbing the tree. So you always want locking carabiners when you're climbing these trees, and this is specifically made for that. You can put other tools on that as you need to, but this is specifically for a chainsaw in my situation. So that's a nice piece of equipment. All right, let's move on, man. Loving this. Ah, that's a ring. Yep, there goes my carabiner. This ring, made in the USA, by the way. I think everything I ordered is pretty much made in the USA, except for the knife, of course, by the Japanese company, but I think everything else is USA branded, so really happy about that. This is a ring that goes on the bridge, and that's going to sit around my waist, and I'll hook my carabiners up to it for life safety. This thing is rated at 32 kN, so that's kilonewtons. And to put that into perspective, basically divide 32 by about 4.5 to convert it into pounds, and you're going to get about 7,000 pounds, something like that. It's roughly 4.5, not exactly. So 32 kN divided by 4.5 gives you about 7,000 pounds. So this will not break until it reaches 7,000 pounds. Definitely worth the life safety on this. So this is going to go on that. Again, the harness that I have comes with one of those. Cool stuff. So that goes here, right? Bam. Tie my knot, put it on my harness. Now I have a safety blanket that I can clip into. Pretty awesome. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. More hoodie stuff. Let's open this up. All right, I think I know what this is. Yep. All right. This is a lanyard for my chainsaw. So check this out. Yeah. Now, if you go on to some of the professionals on there, some of them make their own lanyards. Some of them have specific lanyards for their chainsaws. This happens to be one of them. So the idea here is, it's got these clips on it. The idea here of this is, this piece goes around your chainsaw. Your chainsaw, at least an arborist chainsaw, has hooks on them on the back. And what you do is you put it through the hook and then you cinch it. So this loop comes back through and then it creates the connection to the chainsaw, right? So that stays on your chainsaw. And then your lanyard, I think that's right. Yeah, that's correct. So this hook will hook into, bear with me, this carabiner that I just showed you. While sitting on your side, bam, right? I think that's how it works. Yeah. So this will hook onto your side. Your chainsaw will be hooked into here. Like this. It's double protected. And then as you're climbing up the tree, it'll be right there at your side so you can grab it and take down the branches. And then this is also hooked onto your belt with another loop, another carabiner. And if you want to, you can just hang your chainsaw all the way down to your side, and it's got a springy thing on it. So if it does happen to fall, it drops out of your hand while you're sawing, or a branch hits it out of your hand, it drops, but it doesn't yank you down. It actually springs like this. So it has a little bit of tension. The saw weighs, I think, 8 pounds, and then you put gas in it, probably like 9 or 10 pounds. You don't want that falling while it's hooked to you because it'll just jerk you down, and the tension from the spring here will help reduce that. So this is cool. And it comes with 2 of them, so if I have another saw that I want to bring up in the tree with me, I can hook it up to that. So really nice product. This is rated for probably a couple of thousand pounds also. Even I think these are like 600 pounds or maybe even more tension strings, so they won't break away. So good stuff here. All right. Bam!